the biggest series premieres live on HBO Max. Watch critically acclaimed series like HBO original Euphoria, starring Zendaya.
Suppose there are times when you lose your troubled mind. Suppose there are times when you're feeling undefined. Suppose there are days when your call looks a touch of gray. That's when you call me and know just what to say. We go out and on the night. We jump and touch the light. We dance and we don't sleep until we die. We don't have to worry. We come down the line, it's early. Keep dancing, there's a time for running right. Suppose there are times when you lose your troubled mind. Suppose there are times when you're feeling undefined.
self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Run!
Self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Run!
Been able to find some damage.
Well. We're gonna get started soon. We have a lot of wrestling to talk, a lot of wrestling for me to break down. And if you are here via Twitter, that's fantastic. If you're here via Reddit, that's great also. We are definitely going to be talking about these companies that you see here on the starting soon screen. And as always, you can support me over at ko-fi.com/Marie_shadows. All you have to do is take, you know, your time to go and look at the website. I have some more theories on the whole Bullet Club drama. So, yeah, like I said, we're going to get started in a little bit. I want to make sure that there is enough people that come into the chat. So if you can, tell a friend, let them know that this live stream is starting. I would have started earlier, but I did something new, which I'll tell you guys when I switch it over. We have a lot of drama to discuss. I'm going to be doing something really, really quick, and then we can start talking about stuff. But yeah, welcome to the chat. You're hearing the voice of Marie Shadows. Alright, cool. Welcome to the stream. I'm just getting a little more stuff ready. Okay. So, I'm gonna switch it over. Hey! I don't know if I need to light on. At least this time I do not have my mic muted. So welcome to the Square Circle Podcast. I am Marie Shadows. I'm the host and the creator of the Square Circle Podcast, and we are live on Twitch and YouTube. I no longer want to go live on Twitter just because it does kind of help, I guess, get my name out there and people can watch it as they're scrolling through Twitter and stuff like that. And then they like what I have to say. They'll follow me on Twitter, which is great. But in the end, it doesn't really help. I can't really get the analytics from Twitter. I could only see like how many people viewed it and stuff like that, but the actual analytics that I rely on in order to grow my live stream and the channel doesn't really help me with the Twitter side. So stuff like the analytics from Twitch and YouTube, those help me. I do not have a degree in like analytics to really understand everything, but I understand the basics of like how to get more this, more that, different viewers and stuff. So yeah. Why? Okay, I don't know. I just got a message request from somebody. Uh so I'll check out that message request from somebody. But if it's a weird name and then numbers, you know, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, the reason why I don't want to use Twitter is only because it doesn't give me the analytics, and then I don't know if people on Twitter saw it, and if they saw it, they don't give me feedback or anything like that. So yeah, I can see where it can be a good thing, and also I can see where it really can't be a good thing and it's just there, just to be there. Uh, hey J Rob, what's up? Yeah, man. We're still gonna be talking about Jay, and breaking stuff down some more. Just because there's a lot more stuff to unpack. There's a lot more stuff that happened on the Twitter timeline today on Sunday, and I think in wrestling, if it's not Bullet Club creating story, it's WWE creating story with Roman, which I know might be a shocker to like most of you guys hearing me say that, but it's actually sort of true. If it's not Bullet Club and New Japan Pro Wrestling creating some type of like hot ass story, it's WWE doing that with Roman. Because I really can't tell you like the hottest story in AEW. If you guys can tell me the hottest story in AEW, put it down in chat. I just don't think there is a hot story in AEW. Hangman doesn't really have a hot story other than like he's putting on 60-minute matches, really long matches, hardcore matches, and these are like big moments, and there's breathing room like in between them, but the build-ups are kind of like sucky in a way. So like if he's trying to be this champion of that, he goes 0 to 100 in these big matches. Why? Those big matches should mean something, especially if you have like a build up that's meant to lead to these big matches. And then also he gets like put into the shadow depending on who he's feuding with. Like I know that when he feud with Danielson, that like the spotlight was on Danielson. Danielson has a bigger star power than Hangman. Don't try to debate me on that because that's 100% true. Danielson has a bigger star power than Hangman. So, that's why that one was just like lackluster. But then when it came to the match, Danielson like was having Hangman work it, to make it really good. And then we get like two matches of that, two really big matches. And there's no like in between type of thing. And then after that, we got him versus Archer. Archer is racking up wins on Dark and Dark Elevation against, unfortunately, nobodies, even though they're on the indies and trying to make a name for themselves. But when you do not have a video package for them, to introduce them to us so that we know who they are, because everyone around the world is not going to be going to the local indies of where they wrestle at in their hometown to be like, oh my god, I saw that guy on AEW and stuff like that. They're not going to do that. So you really do have to like hold a fan's hand and can't expect the casual fan who's like, on YouTube, and maybe after the YouTube video is finished, AEW gets suggested to them, and they're like, "Oh, I haven't watched wrestling in years." All they know is probably like WWE. But then when they watch AEW, they're like, "Who are these guys?" If you're not giving the indie wrestlers that come onto the show, um, some type of video package, some type of thing that says, "Hi, I'm so and so," or whatever it is, then basically, you're not doing it right. You're not giving them the time of day. They're giving you, Tony Khan, their time and their effort and their hard work to be featured on AEW Dark, so that way they can like, get a leg up. However, um, if you're not gonna provide them the same sort of respect back and forth by just doing a quick little video package, or letting them like do their own video package of like, you know what? I shouldn't say video package. I should say promo. Doing their own promo, so that way when it's released, it's like, oh, this is who they are, and they have that as a little snippet. So that way, a casual fan who doesn't go to their local indies can appreciate, if they're tuning in on YouTube, to be like, oh, okay, that's an indie wrestler. That's that. But yeah, if Tony is going to make AEW his way and not listen to a constructive criticism like that, then I don't know if he's ever gonna like listen to people. I wish he would listen to people. I wish that he'll stop revealing his hand whenever he's on Busted Open Radio and they're like, "Ooh, what big surprises you have," or like dirt sheets protecting him and AEW, and then when Kenny does almost like a tell all type of thing, it's like, um, you know, it's very eye opening, which we all called it. We all called the really weird red flags, and then, we're just like, this makes total sense for why it's like this. So basically, yeah, I just wish that, things were a little bit more ordered and structured in AEW. And the only reason why I'm talking about AEW first is because I was saying that the hottest stories right now is Bullet Club. The hottest story right now, aside from that, is whatever Roman Reigns is doing in WWE, along with Brock Lesnar and with Lashley. So those are the biggest stories where I can dive into it and give you guys a different perspective, and even help any of the casual fans that are going through Twitch and YouTube and hearing this can understand, like, what's happening a little bit more. If you are not like too into this at all. So yeah. Again, if you can tell me what's the biggest story in AEW, I would love, 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 love to hear it. Speaking of AEW, right? I'm probably gonna jump all around here. I should go from like company to company to company, but I was just thinking about this. That I was watching uh New Japan Strong, because we're gonna get to New Japan Strong, and this was the one that happened yesterday. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be spoilers or whatever, but spoiler alert right here, right now. Jay White is doing his open challenge on New Japan Strong. He's doing the US of J tour, and the one wrestler that showed up this week is Jay Lethal. So basically, oh shit, J Rod is gonna be live on at AEW on Wednesday. He's not gonna be like he's gonna attend the show. But that got me super excited. Yeah. So congrats to J Rod for picking up tickets and going to an AEW show. I really wish you having a fun time. Newark with the Prudential Center, they fucking suck. They suck. They have outdated policies, and it was fucking horrible. It was a horrible experience. So all the video that I took to do a little like vlog about it that day, yeah, it's in my folder. It fucking sucks. The only thing that like made it cool was getting to experience Minoru Suzuki's theme and singing along with everybody. And the fans over there go to have a good time. The other good time that I had was just randomly talking to this dude about the place and about beer. And this chick had like chimed in, and she was wondering if she had like skipped us or whatever, and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know, I had a very good talk with like a random guy and a random chick. But yeah, the Prudential Center, you guys fucking suck. Like, you need to update those fucking outdated policies. Like, we're past 9/11. We're good. 9/11 affected New York City more than New Jersey. New Jersey is still the armpit of New York City. So yeah, you guys are fine. Like, everyone hates New York City because we're loudmouths and like we talk our truth and everything like that. New Jersey, you guys are fine. Yeah. J Ross says he'll be in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Hopefully the fans don't suck. I don't think the fans will suck. But Bridgeport, Connecticut is definitely going to be like it's WWE territory. So expect I can't really say expect the unexpected, but just expect things. And yeah, the one in Arthur Ashe was really good. That's what I heard. And yeah, that one, yeah, I didn't really go to that one. Anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, speaking of AEW and Jay Lethal definitely Jay Lethal showed up to answer Jay White's invitation for his open challenge, and I thought it was kind of interesting that they keep sending him AEW guys. They sent him Christopher Daniels, then now they sent him Jay Lethal, and it was a really good match from start to finish. They haven't fought since like Jay White was like a baby, not like a literal baby, but like, super young in the business, when, Ring of Honor was still thriving and stuff. So yeah. The only reason why I bring it up is because I don't necessarily like the fact that AEW wrestlers are still yo, Switchblade GT. I'll get to Jay White. I'll get to Jay White in a moment, man. I'll get to Jay White. I know you and I are like, right here, we're both Jay White fans. But yeah, I'll get to Jay White in a moment. So yeah, I just think that AEW should stop having like wrestlers take other bookings, because I would like Jay Lethal to be like in, the AEW scene, basically in top contender for like the title and stuff. I don't mind him fighting Jay White. That's cool too. But other than that, it's like, stop messing around with like your black wrestlers. Like, let them do what they got to do. I am happy that both Will Hobbs and like Keith Lee made it to the Face of the Revolution match, which is still a gimmicky match, but at least they're there. So I guess we should really talk about the hot topic, which is Jay White. I'm trying to like, do everything. So Switchblade GT, I did a post live stream yesterday talking about this. Jay Lethal is signed to AEW, but he has the ability to book himself if he wants to like wrestle for another company. So if everything goes okay, he was able to wrestle Jay White on New Japan Strong. He's able to take bookings. Like all of them are able to take bookings if they want to. So yeah, that's what's happening. I'm just saying that I don't think it's necessary or it's good for certain wrestlers to take bookings, especially when they just got there. And then for some reason, I think that Jay Lethal being on Dark doesn't help him either. He came in hot. He challenged Sammy Guevara. He didn't get the championship title, so now he goes back to Dark. Why is that the fucking pattern in AEW? Like, instead of Tony trying to be like, I got this big surprise. Guys, listen to me. I got this big surprise. Can you at least work on, like, your logic behind guys that are, like, they come in hot, they were world champions in other promotions, and then when they come to AEW, they get the fucking booted treatment of challenging for a title, lose, and then end up on fucking Dark and Dark Evolution and Rampage and never see like Dynamite ever fucking again until you kind of remember them and you're like, hey, I remember I had this wrestler. Like, Tony Khan, just get your shit together, man. Like, if you need someone to help you get your shit together, like, hire me. I can help you get your shit together. You don't have to like me or anything like that, because I will probably just straight up. But Marie Shadows is open for business, and you guys can hire me. So yeah, if you want me to get your shit together, that does not mean like getting you coffee and like other stuff like that. But that just means tidying up the roster. Yeah, yeah, that really is the pattern that I just that's the pattern. Lately in my live streams, I've been talking about the patterns of AEW. So another pattern is that I'm gonna say it again, is that Tony Khan, right? So like there's a difference, right, between like myself and then someone like Tony Khan who's like born into money and doesn't really have to like struggle, and then there's someone like me and like the rest of other people who are ordinary have to struggle and eventually get over their obstacles and make the best life for themselves. And so Tony really doesn't have that like world experience that like I would have or someone else would have. So his constant personality trait is to make sure that he pleases people in order for people to like him, in order for people to be like, oh, I feel comfortable with him. So he's having a good time. You're having a good time. And the moment that you show any type of like disdain or any type of like resistance to something, he's gonna lose his shit because he doesn't know how to handle that. He doesn't know how to process that. Like someone like myself or anyone else who's been on the receiving end of like either being poor, being mistreated, or never really had the luxury to really like feel good about something. And also like for someone to please them. He has that personality trait of he always has to please the person. Like he pleases all the fans, all the hardcore fans. And the moment that any criticism comes into that bubble, that's it. He loses his shit. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to recover from that. What he does is that he keeps piling on these surprises, and these surprises are going to keep you happy short term. And then you're going to keep asking for more and more and more. And then when we get to the day that he cannot deliver any more surprises to you, what are you going to do? It's one of those other personality traits that like he has. And that's just because, he was born into money. He never really had like a really 9-to-5 stressful job, like either working at McDonald's or working at Gap or anything that can relate to us. He's more the, I got the money, let me shower you with money, you know, let me make it rain and stuff like that. And, you know, let's make you happy, which is all fine. You know, we all want to be happy. We all want to have like a stress-free life. We want to be comfortable. But it gets to the point where it becomes too dangerous. And, you know, like I said, the moment that he cannot continue with his surprises, what are the fans going to do? Are the fans going to turn on him because he can't deliver on those surprises? And then everybody is spoiled. And then, you know, people will turn on AEW because they're not going to get what they want. You don't necessarily end up in a very good position when you become everyone's friends, especially in a business where it's like cutthroat and very competition filled. But that doesn't mean that you're gonna knock the other person down just to elevate yourself. Like, the wrestling business should be all about elevating each other. However, if you are the businessman and you own you know, the company, you gotta treat it like a business. You gotta treat it like, you know, this could go under like any day. If you treat it like a friend, we're gonna have these problems. You know, Kenny Omega like had some really eye-opening things to really say when he was on the Wrestling Observer and he was getting interviewed. And, you know, when you really read it and analyze it and kind of think back to the 3 years that AEW has been around, you're like, oh shit, this is real. You know, I was once one of those fans that was going to be blindsided by like, this is so new, this is great, they're going to be an alternative. I still think they're an alternative, but the way that the track record has been going, I don't trust it. That's why I really don't trust that Jay White is in AEW, just because of how Tony Khan treats New Japan Pro wrestlers, treats Impact wrestlers. He fucking buried Impact. I don't care what anyone says out there. AEW buried Impact for the longest, and Impact took it like, you know, it was like, all right, we're just gonna take this, and when the storm settles, we're gonna rise from the ashes, and that's what the fuck they're doing, because guess what? We're talking about Impact, we're talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're not even talking about AEW and their stories, because they have no stories. They have micro stories, which is different, but they do not have very impactful, powerful stories where I can sit here and be like, let's break it down. Let me break down why Jay White did what he did. Let me break down why, you know, Tama like retaliated on Twitter the way he did, and why the Young Bucks are getting into it, and the whole entire history and story. Yes, this is long-term storytelling. But you know, it's the thing of, you have to do it right, and timing is everything. And that's what Tony Khan does not understand. He doesn't understand that timing is everything. He thinks that because people are not talking about him and people are not talking about AEW, his baby, that he has to give us what we want. Half of us are so blinded by like, oh my god, we get like these huge stars. Like, you know, it's kind of fucked up that, you know, we got Keith Lee, someone that could definitely thrive in AEW and, you know, be a big powerhouse and like add, excuse me, a lot to the plate. But to have Keith Lee and Jay White show up in the same day, on the same show, doing two different things, the name of Jay White kind of just pushed Keith Lee to the side. I'm gonna say it. And that's very unfortunate, because, you know, if Keith Lee like signed an actual AEW deal, rather than like, I'm guessing Jay has like, you know, he'll appear on AEW for these dates while he does New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Strong, and like anything else. Which, by the way, like, you know, Tony could have got everybody in trouble. Like, this guy does not think through his legal shit, because he only has one person working legal, and like, you're not supposed to have just one person working legal. If you guys don't know, I did like a whole entire podcast episode explaining about like the red flags that Tony Khan has, and that's just based off my knowledge of like, you know, you're not supposed to do certain things like in the business and shit like that. Like, it could have like legal shit going about it and whatnot. But yeah, like doing something like that where like Keith Lee comes in, he's supposed to be like the biggest name, the biggest surprise, and then you have Jay White, and because we know Jay White and we're like interested with Jay White, the Bullet Club, with Tama, with the Young Bucks, the Good Brothers, we're like, oh shit, our attention is here, and it's not to the person who really signed an AEW contract and is an AEW star. You know, you get that? It's just those little things, you know, and sometimes the AEW fans on Twitter can get fucking annoying because it's like, you guys want all this cool shit. I want cool shit too, but I want logical stuff too in my wrestling, man. Like, you know, you can't just throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks. But yeah, let me just go back up here and read some stuff. But first of all, I do have you know, my Twitter open just in case if like, you know, Tama wants to start dropping some stuff over you know, over on Twitter like he was doing, but the real chat is over on Twitch. So yeah, Switchblade GT said, I won't be surprised if I see Keith Lee on Dark or Evolution. True, right? Like, you know, true. J-Rod tells me that's actually true. Switchblade is all like, these wrestling fans would definitely turn on him. I'm waiting for that day. That's facts. But it was cool to see them working together. Yeah, it definitely really was. Like, the whole AEW and Impact partnership was really good and stuff like that. I was really enjoying the childish promos until I realized, yeah, it was all fucking bashing. Like, you don't bury your competition in a way like that. Like, you know, there's other ways to bury them, but not to do it like that. And you know what? As much as I love Tony Schiavone and he was, you know, one of the voices of like my childhood watching wrestling and stuff like that, like he should know better and he should be telling Tony Khan like, yo, this, I don't think this is gonna work. This shouldn't like work like that. Switchblade also said, I personally wanted Keith Lee to be signed to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He will benefit more there. I don't know, man. Keith Lee would have to get with the program of like how to work as a New Japan wrestler. He may put in the work, he may do it, but I don't know. I don't see, I mean, he can have like a match to see how like it works out, but if he was really going to be signing with like New Japan Strong, you know, I don't know how that would go. I don't think New Japan and him will be a good fit. Just because there's a lot of hard-hitting action, a lot of strikes, a lot of kicks, and you know, I just don't know. The G1 Climax, I don't think he's ready for a G1 Climax. I don't think he can handle that schedule. But you know, the New Japan Cup starts March 2nd and it's going to have 48 competitors. So you never know. He might enter into the New Japan Cup, and if he can survive that tournament, then I will be like, yes, he could survive the G1. Right now, I do not think that if we put Keith Lee in the G1, that he's not going to survive it. That G1 like takes a mental toll on people, and it's not for everyone. Point in case is I think Hangman, right? Hangman. I think Hangman did a G1. Let me look that up. And you know, I don't mean to get on Hangman all the time in my like live streams or my podcast episodes. If you guys think that I am, I'm really not. It's just that there are guys who put in the work and guys who really want to make their character shine and get the fact that wrestling is entertainment no matter what. Yes, there is an like athleticism to it. There's a lot of factors into it, but at the end of the day, it's core. It is entertainment, and like I always say, it is the most purest form of theatrical theater, if that makes sense. Because I was like, I'm using theatrical, you know, theater. Okay, hope it makes sense. Did he go? to the G1. Yes, he did. He did go to the G1. Um, but yeah, not every person is made for that. Yeah. Yeah, they announced it well, today really that they are going to be having 48 competitors for the New Japan Cup this year. So we're going to get we're going to get more details in the press conference. Uh I don't want to say today. Let me hold on. I think it's all right. So yeah, so it will be today for Japan that we'll get the press conference. But for us, obviously, it'll be tomorrow. Because over there it is already February 21st. It's already like 8 in the morning. So yeah, we're gonna get that press conference. The next time around. I do not know. I mean, the only person that I know that's probably gonna be in it is Chase. Anyone else, I don't know who else is gonna be in it, but like I know that Chase is like a definite like competitor in it. So yeah. So yeah. Other than that, let's see. Um Running back. uh Hey, I mean, Will Ospreay is probably gonna be in it. Will Ospreay is definitely going to be in it. Um, I cannot confirm or deny that, but like the fan in me wants him in it. United Empire is definitely going to be in it. The Great Okan has definitely been wrestling back to back to back to back against people. Jeff Cobb might even be in it. Hinare is gonna probably be in it. If Hinare is not in it, I'm gonna be upset. And New Japan Wrestling and New Japan will know. Yeah, Jay's not gonna. Yeah, he's not gonna be there. Jay is too busy dealing with the drama he fucking created. Which I have some more theories on it because I was having theories last night. Um, so let's see who else we can think of. We know that like Taichi and like Zack Sabre Jr. are gonna be in it. I don't think Yano or Suzuki are gonna be in it because they're too busy battling for the freaking King of Pro Wrestling trophy, which is fucking stupid. But that's just me. I just think it's stupid. Uh, Wait, he can't. He's supposed to be in. Yeah, yeah. He's supposed to be in Tampa. Yep, he's supposed to be in Tampa. But New Japan Cup doesn't start until March 2nd, and Japan just said that foreigners are allowed to go into the country now. So when they're flying over, they're allowed to enter the country. But any new type of tourists are not allowed to go to Japan right now. Excuse me. So anyone who wants to any wrestler who wants to work over there in Japan are able to go to Japan March 1st. But they might have to go early because of the COVID protocols, which they kind of lowered the amount of stay you gotta do in the government hotels, which is basically if you have like all three shots, you are only allowed to stay in the hotel room for like 3 days just to make sure that like when you're coming from wherever you are in the world to over there that you should be good. Yes, Hinari definitely deserves the spotlight. This dude knows that I will advocate for him like no matter what. So he knows that I want him to have the spotlight. And the KOPW is stupid. So, you know what? Let's start talking about, Jay White doing Jay White things. And I had specifically told Tama that once. I told Tama that Jay White does Jay White things. What does that mean? It basically means that Jay White is always going to be in it for himself. He's always going to go into business for himself. There's never a time where like he was good with a team because every single thing that he ever did, he always backstabbed somebody. He went to Chaos for a little bit. He didn't like, the treatment that he was getting in Chaos. This is when he comes back from Excursion, right? He comes back from Excursion. He's known as Switchblade Jay White. He grew up from being a knife pervert, according to Trent. So yo, like, I just know that if I get to be on Tama's island, it's gonna be fucking awkward, okay? Like, I both love Jay and Tama, but if I have to pick a side, right? Sometimes they say it's better to trust the devil you know rather than the devil you don't know. As much as Jay gives off that bad boy freaking personality that will one day be the death of me, just because that's like one of my preferences. If you guys want to know that, I would usually side with someone like Jay White, just because of that bad boy personality, and I will probably give into it. But I rather side with the devil I know. The devil that has, welcomed me with open arms. The one that definitely is not an ass to me, and I'm not saying that Jay was ever an ass to me. But like, I've met, some asshole guys in wrestling and shit like that. But I know that if Tama ever needed like his Tama Island crew, that we'll have his back. We'll be there like, soldiers. And I've always said this to myself, that like the way that Tama inspires people, even though like he talks about shit, but the way that he does is because of all that passion and truth that he has, just like written on his sleeve. And when he talks, everyone listens. So, I'd rather go with somebody that I know will have my back. Tama and Loa and Hikulea would definitely have my back. Jay would, in story, Jay in story and kayfabe, because you guys got to remember, like, I love all this shit in kayfabe. So, Jay, I would have to have eyes in the back of my head, because I don't know when my help or my presence will expire, because Jay tends to move on to the next thing. If he's not enjoying something, he moves on to the next thing. If he's not getting any type of fulfillment for what he's doing, he's gonna go to the next thing to get that kind of fulfillment. And that's what makes him such a fantastic champion. That's what's gonna make him, a fantastic storyteller. And I was thinking about this recently, that, he has said it in like other interviews, that Randy Orton was like the guy that got him into wrestling and stuff. And if you haven't noticed, Jay White is essentially like, the Randy Orton of New Japan Pro Wrestling, just because of how he is portrayed, the way he thinks. He just does it on a very higher level than Randy Orton. So like, Randy Orton is the blueprint, and Jay White is like, oh, I could do it way better. And he does. And, that's why it's kind of hard for me to like pick a side. And I even said that I don't want this to happen again, because the last time we had a civil war, it was between Kenny and Cody. Now, granted, I don't really like Cody like that, so it was easy. I picked Kenny and the Young Bucks. But either way, I did not want to see like family implode. And I really do consider Bullet Club to be family, because of their ideology is something that I connect with as a fan, because, first of all, I am a female who loves professional wrestling, and growing up, I was basically like the black sheep of the family, because, no one else liked professional wrestling like me. My dad got me into professional wrestling, and it just stuck. So, I'm here talking to you about professional wrestling and like breaking it down like no other. And, accomplish my dreams of going to WWE, and was the only person in my family to be like, I'm doing this, this, and this, accomplish all of that, because the rest of my family are like bums. Not like literal bums, but like they didn't accomplish what they wanted to do. Me, I'm the only one that accomplished what I wanted to do. So Bullet Club just sort of has that like family that kind of brings together the outcasts, the ones that don't fit into society, the ones that, have like a logical common sense thinking other than like following the fucking sheep out there and the echo chambers, and would rather like do the research on their own, come up with their own conclusions, and making sure that like, this is what it is. This is all the research I did. This is all facts, and not really rely too much on emotion like how we're seeing it now. So there's a reason why I gravitate towards Bullet Club, and it's because they're also like strong in like leadership, even though the whole entire Bullet Club has like fucking alpha males and they can't seem to get their shit together sometimes. But family does fight, and then family does reconcile, and then family backstabs everybody. It's the perfect hallmark novella story in professional wrestling, if you ask me. But yeah, that's why I feel so strongly about, Bullet Club, and not wanting Bullet Club to ever end or dissolve. Even though like I'll still support the guys in Bullet Club, but it's still the idea of Bullet Club is fucking family. And I remember like the first time like Tama welcomed me into like the Tama Island crew, that shit is like the best feeling ever. Cause there was like no judgment, no nothing. It was just like, hey, what's up, Marie? Even though he thought that I was a dude. Good times, man, good times. That's why like if battle lines need to be drawn, right? And for people in the comments, if you guys like think I'm stupid or like going crazy or, too much invested into this, it's okay. It's totally okay. I'm having so much fun with this, okay? I'm not angry at anybody for what happened in Bullet Club, but I'm just having way too much fun. You could tell by this cheesy ass smile that this means everything to me. Like wrestling in general means everything to me. But yeah, if battle lines need to be drawn, I am most likely going to be siding with Tama and Loa and Hikuleo, because I think that and Haku, because I think that we are probably going to get the firing squad. I do think that something else is happening in Bullet Club, and Jay is probably going to get a new member on his side. Not really a new member, because he's still a member of Bullet Club. And if you paid close attention to New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Golden Final, and El Phantasmo has been having such a inner character crisis over the past couple of weeks, ever since being exposed. And when I say exposed, it's because Robbie Eagle and Taguchi finally managed to take off El Phantasmo's boot, right? So for the longest, El Phantasmo's running story and his running gimmick, if I should say, he has a metal boot. He has a metal plate in his boot. He doesn't have a metal boot. He has a metal plate in his boot. And he would always super kick everybody, and then it's called the sudden death, and then that's it. 1, 2, 3. El Phantasmo will get the victory. And so his story will be that, in Canada, he would just always super kick maple trees in order to get like a really strong heel. Sure, could be believable from time to time. So the day that they exposed the fact that there is a metal plate in his boot, him and Taiji, hey, Sleeping Collectibles, what's up? Thank you for joining me. Yes, the plate in his boot was clever. I gotta give it to him. Clever. I gotta give him all the props. So, when they found it, I think Marty, the official, was there. Yeah, because it's Marty. Because Marty, like, man, that dude, that referee, man. So he ejected El Phantasmo and Taiji out of that, what was it, like that triple threat tag team match and stuff like that. So that's what happened. Fast forward to like, weeks, El Phantasmo has been doubting himself and the super kick. and that has made Taiji very frustrated, especially when their finisher is a combination, it's a tag team move, and he can't do it. So Taiji has to like finish off the match, or they might lose, or something like that. So this time, the news of Bullet Club breaking down at No Surrender and Jay White turning on Tama hit Japan very fast. Japan wrote up their article, so basically, it was already there. And, El Phantasmo tells something to Kevin Kelly. I'm not sure if anyone picked this up. But, Kevin is in shock. Everyone is in shock. El Phantasmo says to Kevin Kelly that, yeah, you should see backstage is chaotic. I don't know what's going on. And Kevin is like, hey, can you give us an update? Like, what do you know? Like, like what a journalist would do, ask these questions. El Phantasmo is all like, I don't know what happened, but, Jay did text me. And then Kevin follows it up with, what did he text you? And El Phantasmo did not want to say. And then he had his tag team match. And I'm like, El Phantasmo knows something. So if Tama wants to start looking for answers, you got to go to El Phantasmo and ask him what Jay has said. It may not be nothing, or it may be something for this whole entire story. And when I heard that, I was like, this story is going to be really, really good. And it's going to be like the best Civil War story in Bullet Club, because the other one with Kenny and Cody, that was fucking stupid. That was fucking stupid. But yeah, he did say that he talked to Jay today, which is interesting. Which brings me to another point. And yeah, to Switchblade's GT's point, I also agree with him too that this is having me think that Jay is going to get to the Elite. I had posed this on Twitter. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, @Marine_Shadows, you can follow me there. I talk to everyone and anyone about wrestling. I really don't care. Just don't be a douchebag. That's all. I had said and tweeted out that, what did I say about that? Oh yeah. Wait, did I say, I said something along the lines of like, maybe this is a way for Switchblade to, for Switchblade to destroy the Elite from the inside out. And then like maybe like come back to Bullet Club. But when you cross Tama, there is no coming back. It's either, you decide to blood yourself in with Tama and the rest of them, or you just don't do it and you're like a hang around. Like, you really got to think about it in terms of how would you run the South Side? And by the way, I might get into like some GTA role-playing like analogies, because I watch a lot of GTA role-playing as well. So, you got to think of it like that. Like, it's a family and shit like that. It's always been fuck the Elite. Yeah. It definitely has. Yeah, there's definitely no coming back when you screw over Tama. The other thing too is that I think, based on the interviews that Jay White has been having over the past couple of days leading up to No Surrender, right? So, hey, Sleepy Collectibles, thank you for subscribing over on the YouTube side. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing your opinion too. But I really do think that the interviews that Jay White does are very telling. I personally think that you don't if I ever interview Jay White on like the Square Circle podcast, just know it. I'm not sure if it's gonna be done in one take, but let me not get ahead of myself. I just know that whenever he does interviews, he sort of tells you what you want to hear versus what his character would say, even though like it's technically like him in a way, but what his character would say, what he would think the fans would take at his word, because all of us here sort of like sit at the edge of our seats listening to what he has to say because he's one of the best to do it. So here's what I think. I'm sorry. My nose is starting to get stuffy. This shit happens like all the fucking time. During one of the interviews, he was saying how he wants to make Bullet Club in like a really huge family where he is uniting former Bullet Club members across the brands. So you have the Elite over in AEW who were part of Bullet Club. You have Bullet Club hanging out in Impact, New Japan Strong. So he just wants to like unite everybody. And then he goes and says that so Jay White never really had to deal with the things that Tama had to deal with the Young Bucks and Kenny, and what Tama had to deal with the Good Brothers, right? So Jay never experienced any of that. And because Jay never experienced any of that, he doesn't see a reason why there should still be burned bridges. He feels that, you know, maybe with all this time that maybe there should be like some forgiveness or whatever, but like the things that Tama experienced, Jay hasn't experienced it. So that's why he could be friendly. And that's why he can, you know, work with, you know, the Elite, Adam Cole, the Good Brothers, because he doesn't have that same, I'm looking for the fucking word for this. I don't want to use the word animosity, but he doesn't have that same feeling that Tama has towards these guys. As you can see, Jay White does things in a business sense where he's just working with you. If he has to work with you, that's all it is. It's a working relationship. It's not personal. There we go. I can say that. It's not personal with Jay. It's personal with Tama in regards to the Elite. Probably Adam Cole. Probably. And then like the Good Brothers. But all of that is not personal to Jay. So that's why Jay can do whatever he wants to do and make these business deals for himself, because he doesn't see the reason that Tama would want him to do it. It's one of those things of like, Jay came in late to Bullet Club, and he doesn't want to carry the baggage of the past mistakes of the others. So, you know, that's his mindset. So in I can't say every interview, but there was one particular interview where he just basically says that, you know, he has no issues with the Young Bucks and Adam Cole. That's why he's working with them. However, when it came to talking about the Good Brothers, he really said that the Good Brothers is specifically like Tama's thing. Tama's gonna take care of it. Like Jay White wasn't going to like insert his nose into that. That's Tama's thing to take care of that. And then all of a sudden, as we saw in No Surrender, you know, Chris Bay coming out, that was the first red flag of like, what is Bay doing here? Why is Bay distracting the referee? And then like Loa getting chokeslam, and then that's it. And then Jay comes in and does that. And then just sits with this look on his face of like, it almost looked like as if like Tama pushed him to do that. Like Tama brought him to that point in time to do this Blade Runner. And then to be over the body of Tama and Too Sweet Everybody. Which, by the way, a lot of people on Twitter are like, Jay kicked out Tama. No. Jay did not kick out Tama. You know, Switchblade GC says, before in a backstage comments, Jay said that this is real Bullet Club and this isn't cheap ripoff. Yeah, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know if any of that stuff in the past, because I remember that because I podcasted about that exact same comment that you put here, GT. I don't know if any of that is getting factored into this whole story. That's why, like, I have more questions than answers, and you know, Tama's a little upset and he's heated, so it's like, Maybe should I send him like cat videos? Like, I don't know. Or dog videos? I don't know if he's a cat or dog person. But like, I don't know if any of that stuff from back in 2020, that any of that is gonna get factored in. If not 2020, 2021. But yeah, I podcasted all about that. But my thinking is that uh oh yeah, first of all, Jay did not kick out Tama. God is probably going to bring back Firing Squad, and it's still going to be under the banner of Bullet Club. What the stipulation, because it really wasn't a stipulation, was that the Good Brothers kept saying that if they beat God, that they kill Bullet Club. That does not mean that they're taking the mantle of Bullet Club. That means that they're like doing away with Tama and Loa and separating from them, and the Good Brothers will continue to be the Good Brothers. The Elite will still be the Elite, and then JY will still probably carry Bullet Club. Like, I don't know what this like really means. I don't know if he's still gonna uphold Bullet Club and think that, he is Bullet Club. He represents Bullet Club because of how his work ethic is, or like how many people like he took out, or like how many championships he won. Like, I don't know the criteria. But yeah, GT, there's a lot of people I've been seeing on the timeline saying that Jay kicked out Tama, and it's like, no, that's not how it happened. Jay just removed himself from being with Tama and Loa and the rest of them. He just removed himself because he saw it. He either saw it early in the signs where this is probably not going to work out, or he was getting too bored and nothing was really happening with the group as it is. Tama and Loa are turning babyface, as we saw during the G1. They weren't doing Bullet Club tactics. What makes Bullet Club great is that they do Bullet Club tactics, even though they cheat a lot and we're like, stop the cheating. But in order to be Bullet Club, in order to defend Bullet Club and stuff like that, like, they do Bullet Club tactics, which I talked about, what that really means. But yeah, people really think that Jay kicked out Tama by doing the Blade Runner. No, Jay just double crossed Tama and got himself out of Bullet Club before Tama was like, hey, I know you've been doing a good job, doing this, being the forerunner and shit like that, but it's time for you to go. So instead of that, he left on his own. However, I do believe that the Good Brothers whispered into Jay's ear somehow and promised him something that, like, Tama probably could not promise him, right? Maybe that could be like a better position, maybe at AEW, because after this, like, the Good Brothers are gonna go to AEW and have like a little skit or something like that. Like, the Good Brothers are going back there. Jay is gonna show up there, or like, the Good Brothers are gonna go to Japan. When I say Japan, I mean like New Japan Strong, or something like that. But I think that something happened where the Good Brothers offered Jay something that Tama probably could not promise him. And Jay, being an opportunist that he is, went and basically like decided to go that route. And why not take Chris Bay? Because Chris Bay has been hungry, and Chris Bay has been waiting for opportunities. And sometimes, if you wait, opportunities pass you by. Sure, for someone like me and for someone like GT, will probably say like, maybe that wasn't the best option because now he's hanging around the wrong crowd. But as a wrestler, you got to do what's best for you. The same way as a human being, you got to do what's best for you. If you know that this is going to alienate a lot of people, go and fucking do it, because it's your life and you live that one life. You don't get a second chance sometimes. And if this can be his big break, then why not? I am all for Chris Bay doing what Chris Bay does. Oh wait, I just coined something else. Chris Bay does Chris Bay things. I think you gotta have like a cool ass name in order to like have that. Let's see. Tama Tonga does Tama Tonga things. No, that just sounds like I'm chanting. Like, I'm trying to summon Tama. Tama Tonga does Tama Tonga things. No. But I totally created Chris Bay does Chris Bay things. Oh my god. Oh, this is gonna be great. Um JY does JY things. Chris Bay does Chris Bay things. I think that was a perfect pick for Bullet Club now, like 100%. Like I was always on board for Chris Bay coming through and being part of Bullet Club or whatever it is, and now he's under Jay White's wing. So like, yeah, that's super cool. I'm proud that I made up that thing of Chris Bay does Chris Bay things. So now if Chris Bay does Chris Bay things, I'm gonna probably fucking say it. Which is gonna be different for him because if you guys were here a little bit before, I was saying that Jay White does Jay White things, meaning that he goes into business for himself sometimes. That Jay White is all about himself and protecting like his image, his identity, and doing the things that he wants to do when he wants to do it. And if he doesn't find fulfillment in one, he goes on to the next and does that. And he picks the right times for when he does it. This one was a complete slow burn of turning on Tama and getting out while he can, because that's what he did. He got out while he can. So yeah, this is gonna be great. Chris Bay does Chris Bay things. Ah, awesome. Yeah, I know. I know it took you a while to accept him into Bullet Club. But Chris Bay is the ultimate finesser, so it works out. It really works out. I'm proud of myself, guys. I really am. But yeah, those are my theories. I also think that once we get down to the bottom of whatever El Phantasmo and Jay White talked about, El Phantasmo is gonna be probably breaking up with Taiji and then like going over to the States and like being with Jay White and like the rest of the elite. Chris in the elite, they're gonna have the most childish um BTE segments ever, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm there for it because I stopped watching BTE because it was so childish that I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Um, I just don't like it whenever the elite is like trying to like throw the negative stuff back into the fans' faces as if like we were the ones that helped them get to this fucking point. I totally get it that people leave negative comments and just go at them at a really stupid way, but you don't have to remind us every single time. And speaking of the Young Bucks, right? They decided to put up a new bio where it says that they never really liked Tama, to be honest. And I don't know. Hold on, let me go grab that picture so that way it could be here in the video for it. Why is this? Oh, oops. Uh, hey, Israel, what's up? BT just changed. It's like 2 minutes of the Bucks and 20 minutes of the Dark Order and other people. And GC says they just ask you to get the firing squad again. They are. It's like they don't like learn. Like, I'm all for you know, I'm all for like rehashing or bringing up. Actually, no, I'm not for rehashing stuff. I'm all for bringing up loose ends that never got tied. But shit, it's like you guys don't fucking learn. Um, Young Bucks must have, yeah, they must have not learned back in San Francisco. That's what I'm saying. But okay, for Israel, thank you for letting me know that the uh you know BTE has changed, but I'm not that's not gonna make me watch. And yes, the return of King Haku. Like, I remember somebody on Twitter, I don't remember who it was, but they said that Haku can definitely like destroy all of them. You know. So here is the tweet. I hope you guys can like see it. Um this here is like, I really want to kick the Young Bucks. I really do. I have grown so tired of them because they basically rehashed everything from the 2000s when they were at the height and peak of their career in Ring of Honor and just up their thing like multiple, up their annoyance by like tenfold. And I really just can't stand it. And it's like, I would have loved if they would have started off their brand new career at AEW as technical wrestlers. Because for anyone that has ever listened to my podcast show, or if you're new, welcome if you're new. I'm Marie Shadows again, host and creator of the Square Circle Podcast. I always say that I love the technical side more than I love the flips. However, if you can sort of combine both of them together, that would be great. But I'm more technical than anything. Yes, I remember them as Generation Me too back in TNA. And I remember seeing them come out of Ring of Honor at one point as Generation Me. So yes, I followed their career. I know what they're about. But half the time it's just like, you guys could have came up with something different. You guys could have put on a different spin. So that way you as the Young Bucks can evolve rather than keep doing the same spot at the same spot at the same spot at the same spot. And then you wonder why, like, you might have to take off time in such an early career of everything. But yeah, this tweet here, GT says, can't lie, I still love the Young Bucks. I love them too, but like, shit, do you guys have to be super annoying? Do they? Don't get it. Oh yeah, and by the way, for anyone that's not following me on Twitter, go ahead and do that at Marie_Shadows. Just because I put up a question up there and like nobody has answered it because that's what the AEW faithful does. They don't like to answer questions from someone who questions them, like me. I basically said, can you tell me an AEW storyline? Because I could not tell the fans earlier in this podcast episode, what storyline that they're fucking doing. So if anyone out there wants to drop in chat about, what storyline they can tell me about in AEW, that would be great. Just because. Anyway, while I continue to talk about more stuff, right? Because I already gave you all of my ideas. Oh yeah, more stuff from Tama, because Tama was on a rampage, like last night and like this morning. So even Rocky is getting into it, and I'm here like, Rocky, you should know better. Like, you should know not to antagonize Tama. Rocky thinks that, it's the right thing to do because Bullet Club has been such a thorn in his side. Let me take off this, I guess the Elite versus... Yeah, I mean, but like current stories in AEW that I can go in depth and like break it down the same way that I'm here talking about, the whole Jay White situation and trying to be like, oh, maybe it could have been this, it could have been that. The Elite versus the Inner Circle, cool, I get that. That's great. Back in the day when I was watching, I mean, I watch AEW from time to time, but it's like on Twitter and stuff. But when we were doing the story of Hangman and Kenny, that I was able to break down for you guys, and I have a YouTube video and a podcast episode me breaking it down, going in depth into the history of Hangman Adam Page and the history of Kenny Omega and like why it was the way that it was. So I was able to do it. I just can't do it currently. Oh, GT says he hasn't been keeping up with them lately. And yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we had story in the beginning. Now we have micro stories. That's what I was saying. We have micro stories in AEW, and you can't rely on micro stories alone because of that. Just so you guys know, John Moxley is a hit or miss for me when it comes to his storytelling ability and his wrestling ability. Like, there's only like a not even a handful of matches where I could be like, oh, okay, that was good. I can explain it. But yeah, John Moxley is just like a hit or miss for me. You know, that's all it is. All right, so I'm gonna take out this Young Bucks thing. Just because I really don't want it there. Oh yeah, and by the way, if oh, I'm gonna get to New Japan Strong eventually in this podcast thing, but like the Jay White and Bullet Club thing is just so much for me to break down for you guys because I love this shit. Like, I really do. And if you enjoy hearing me talk, the easiest way to support me, I know a lot of people throw out there like a PayPal to directly support me and stuff like that. I would too, but there's an easier way. There is a website called Coffee, which you guys could probably think of it as like, buy me a coffee. Or if I didn't want to use the word coffee, you can buy me a hug. That's what I have it. I think that hugs are a little bit more encouraging and better. So think of this page like a Patreon, except that coffee is a lot more creative for my creative mind. So for everyone that's here, if you enjoy what I've been saying for the past hour and like 37 minutes about professional wrestling and you understand my passion for it, click that link. And all you have to do, if you want to give a one-time donation of like $3, which would be a $3 hug for me. And then if you want to get my wrestling bingo cards that I made, head over to the shop, get wrestling bingo cards. And if you need me to do any type of work that you want me to do, like writing or editing something that you wrote, go and do that. I'm only plugging it in now because we do have a good amount of people, and like I love everyone that's here. I love everyone that's interacting with me, and I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So yeah, and then yeah. So if you guys want to help me out that way, you can, and you are supporting me directly. The coffee website does not take a fee. You could just do a one-time donation if you think that my analytic skills for professional wrestling is really deserving of you giving me a hug. That's all. Um, so yeah. But yeah, so GT is totally right. With that AEW needs more long-term storytelling. They really do. Something that catches people, again, I have a writing degree. AEW could always hit me up, but they're not gonna do that. Like I said, I'll eventually get to New Japan Strong and shit like that. Yeah. GT says Moxley is soft right now. Ever since his theme has changed, he kind of fell off. I guess I have no comment on John Moxley. But yeah, it's the idea of micro stories and shit like that. I think I covered everything for JY. Oh no, more okay. So yeah, talking about Rocky. Rocky decided to come at Tama being like for life, right? That fucking shit. Um and it's like, bro, I know that you're just messing around and shit like that, but um when you're actually part of something that somebody knows your name, it hits different than like being in chaos and nobody knowing like your name. So yeah, you know, I don't know why Rocky wants to poke the bear that is Tama Tonga. And then, Tama telling Jay that he's a dead man, which I thought was pretty funny. I was just like, oh man, here we go, right? And then, you know, Tama telling the Young Bucks, it's cause sometimes, everybody wants to know your name. Dun, dun, dun. Ravage had to make an appearance. That was Ravage Dragon. If you guys want, you can go follow him too. Because we do Ravage Lands together, which is basically a gaming family thing. Me and him. Well, I really can't say family. Well, it used to be like a family thing. Yeah, Ravage is my boo. He wanted to come and make a fucking cameo when he knows that he probably shouldn't. But yeah, I would get his fucking Twitch account up here so I could just put it there so that way he could be like, yeah, you know, blah blah blah. He's also streaming too, by the way. Give me a second. We should technically hold on. This is gonna play. Not to take people away from me talking about wrestling, but because he decided to fucking make an appearance, let me just be the good girlfriend and like put his stuff out there. Okay? Me and him talk about wrestling 24/7. And you know, I don't know if I ever want him to be on the show, but he just decided to make a fucking cameo appearance. But yeah, if you guys want to go follow him and basically say what's up, you know, you guys could go do that shit too. Maybe we'll raid him. But yeah. So yeah. Tama telling the Young Bucks to basically suck his dick. After putting that comment of they never liked Tama, to be honest, and it's like, what is there not to like about Tama? Is it because like he's a good guy? Yeah, he's playing South Park. We play sometimes but he plays a lot of variety games. He doesn't really stick to like one, but yeah, he's playing South Park right now. For anyone that's listening to this on audio, Ravage Dragon decided to do a cameo, and you know, I put his Twitch channel in the chat, so you know, don't worry and don't be like, who the fuck am I talking about? But yeah, but yeah, Tama keeps it real, and that's what I like about Tama. I rather have Tama talk to me with 100% honesty. Even if I don't want to hear it, because you know, us as human beings, I can't talk right now because I've been doing this for like an hour and 43 minutes. Live stream. You know, I rather have Tama keep things 100% with me than lie to me or twist the truth a little bit, but I will give leeway to if someone has to twist the truth with me just to protect me, there will be a leeway. But if it's just a straight up lie, then yeah, we got problems. But if you're gonna be completely 100% honest with me, then I rather have that than like nothing at all. But yeah, Tama definitely keeps it 100% real, and sometimes people just don't like that. Or sometimes people just don't want to see it his way if it makes sense and stuff. Other than that, like Tama can, if he needs to, you know, be like an alpha male to take charge and control and stuff. But there's a lot of like telling in this whole entire Bullet Club drama that we're seeing, and we're gonna see more of it. Tama didn't really tweet much today, or I think he did. I just know that when you guys tune in for Tama's Island on Tuesday at 6:30 over on his Twitch. Oh yeah, he did tweet out the "can't trust nobody" type of thing, which is true. And that's something big in like Tongan and like Polynesian culture, and like in other cultures too and stuff like that. The trusting thing is very big. But yeah, you know, when you guys tune in to Tama's Island this Tuesday, um, expect Tama to be like really upset. I need answers. We all need answers. And yes, I'm gonna end the Bullet Club talk here with uh is Bullet Club really fine? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't really know. Um, all right, let's move on to another topic. See, even Switchblade GT in the chat is saying, I need some damn answers. I need answers too, GT and I are like the closest to the source. But again, I want to put this disclaimer out there just in case if like any wrestlers come by and they like just want to watch one of my streams. I never claim to be a wrestling dirt sheet writer. I never claimed to be a journalist per se, the way that you see how the wrestling media is portrayed as being so cutthroat and just gatekeeping. If I am your friend and you know that I have a podcast, I will never put your information out there, as in, like, if you give me a scoop, let's say, right? If you give me a scoop, I will not put it out there as like, oh my god, I got a scoop, guys. Like, come watch my show. Give me donations, give me this, or I won't tell you or whatever, right? Like, I'm not for that. I'm all for kayfabe, and I'm all for kayfabe, and I am all for trying to figure this out like a detective. I am no way, shape, or form trying to be like damaging any type of story because I have a scoop and I put it out there. And like I'm not about that. Um, I am more about telling the story as it is, and just going with it and not necessarily like um wanting to spoil it for people because, to be honest, I did not really see this swerve coming. I did not see the fact that Jay was going to side with the Good Brothers to take himself out of the Bullet Club. I didn't see that coming. Jay looked like he was on the path of, going through the motions, doing all this work, and that was it. And yeah, so if any wrestler out there that's like friends with me, know that I have a podcast and know that like I go on other people's podcasts and that I write about professional wrestling, if I am given a scoop, unless I am given permission to say something about that scoop, that's the only time that I will drop that scoop. I have integrity and I have passion for this business, and I do not need to step over anyone else who just does it willy nilly just because I want the attention and I want the donations and I want everything else. Sure, I want all of that. I want all that love from you guys. But I'm not going to be part of the copy and paste machine that's on Twitter, and you guys give, $5 for copy and paste when, we could be enjoying the story. We could be enjoying the breakdowns. We could be enjoying the speculation of like, oh, this and that. And somebody in that group talk could have a really good idea. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. Thanks for reminding me. And that makes sense as to why this person went to go do it. So there's a reason why someone like me who makes original content, whenever I say on Twitter that, it's sad that sometimes ordinary casual fans won't support an original content creator because they don't copy and paste wrestling news and rumors and be like, hey, I got this from so and so, still pay me behind a paywall because I got it from so and so. That's like back in the day, in high school, where somebody wanted to copy off of your homework and you let them do it. And they don't necessarily change anything about it. They might change something about it, but they're not really going to change anything about it. And then charge you for that person's homework that they just copied and paste. I'm very passionate about the way that I present my ideas. I'm very passionate about the way that I break down professional wrestling like no other. That's why, like, I have a small circle, and I am grateful for everyone and anyone that has ever had me on their show, everyone and anyone that has like ever interacted with me, and I will always be that sweetheart until, like, you push me or you break one of my boundaries, and stuff like that. And you will know when you fuck up if, like, you become friends with me. You will know. It's the same way of, like, being friends with Tama, or just, seeing how Tama works as a human being. Tama's cool up to a certain point. The moment that you decide to cross that line is the moment that you fucked up. And Jay White fucked up. So, yeah. That is my whole stance on when it comes to wrestling journalism, wrestling media, and, for wrestlers, if they ever want to, like, collaborate with me and stuff like that, their scoops are not going to be on, the first thing on my podcast, because I don't really do that. You guys are human first. You guys are people first. And if it needs to be where I'm an asset to the storyline, fuck yeah, I'll do that shit. I was already being assets to storylines on the indies. Even though it would have been cool, but, again, I'm thought of as a fucking fan because I have this. No, my accolades, like, speak for themselves. I went to WWE. Nobody can definitely, like, take that from me. Basically after that, I did the indies. I helped out with Evolve for, like, their last show before WWE took them away from us. I help out at other indie promotions when I could have. So I have, like, knowledge and backstage knowledge, and I'm always there and I'm always available to do what I love to do. But this isn't really a conversation about me, but I get passionate about it, and I don't ever want wrestlers to group me into the wrestling media and how cutthroat and bad they, like, treat each other. Even though, like, they all when they get together, you could definitely see that they have to be fake with each other. You're gonna get 100% me. You're gonna get 100% real Marie Shadows, where there is no gimmicks. You come here to be yourself. I project to be myself, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's what I do. Other than that, we may have to, like, take a break, because it's kind of unfair that I've been sitting here for a while. You guys been sitting here for a while, hearing me talk. Switchblade GT, if you want to know, Super J-Cast, like, are one of the people that I keep seeing that they say that Jay White kicked out GOD from Bullet Club. And it's not, I don't even think that's right. Like, that's not how it happened. I know for damn sure when you guys tune into Thomas Island on Tuesday, that's probably the first thing that Tom is going to say, that, like, Jay did not kick us out. You can't kick out somebody that created the club. Like, I don't know. But let's take a little mini break. We'll come back. We'll talk about New Japan Golden, New Japan Strong, more No Surrender, minus the Bullet Club drama if I cannot reference it. AEW's already taken care of. And maybe some, like, Elimination Chamber. And then, like, if you guys have questions, drop your questions below. But I really need a break. So make sure to go get water. Make sure to go get water, take a stretch, do something. I'll be back in a little bit. Enjoy these music.
We're gonna burn it down. Burn it down. We're gonna burn it down. Burn it down. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder.
I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker.
Show them. Change the station with a new shit. Show them. Change the station with a new shit. Change the station. Change the station. Change the station with a new shit. With a new shit. Change the station. Change the station. Change the station with a new shit. With a new shit.
It's murder. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker.
I killed it. I killed it. I killed it.
I killed it, it's murder.
Show them. Change the station with a new shit. Show them. Change the station with a new shit. Change the station. Change the station. Change the station with a new shit. With a new shit. Change the station. Change the station. Change the station with a new shit. With a new shit.
I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder.
Go crazy, berserker.
All out of skips? With Premium, you get unlimited skips to pass on the songs you don't want to hear.
All right, I am back. I hope you guys had a wonderful stretch break and got rehydrated. And during the Be Right Back screen, I totally forgot to turn the music back on after the ads went through. So I covered everything in that Bullet Club drama, even though I know there's probably still a lot more to talk about. But let's switch over to some New Japan Pro Wrestling Golden news. So, New Japan Golden is basically uh like it felt like a week long or like a half a month of celebrating New Japan Pro Wrestling making it to 50 years. So congratulations to that. The actual birthday will be celebrated in March because I think March is like the official, like when everything got started. But they do it in February, and I think it's a very nice pre-party for that. So on my podcast episodes, I said that I would, or live streams, I said that I would only cover the main uh matches. So night one of New Japan Golden, we had in the main event Tanahashi taking on Sonata. This is not really spoilers. You guys already know what happens. Sonata is our new IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion. That is his first title that he has gotten in the company. Tanahashi held it before him, and Tanahashi got it back from Kenta when they had their really wonderful hardcore match. Which New Japan Pro Wrestling does not do a lot of hardcore matches, and when they do, it's really special. And Kenta is healing just fine, so we don't really have to worry too much about him, but he's healing fine, and he said that he's going to be in Orlando in March. So you never know. He might show up at AEW, and if Kenta takes on CM Punk, Tony Khan better not say to Kenta that Kenta loses to CM Punk. CM Punk has been copying Kenta for fucking years. And don't you dare get me with that, oh, all wrestling moves are copied and shit like that. There's a specific rule. Sorry about that. My fucking alarm. But there's like a specific rule within the wrestling world that you just don't copy someone like that. If you know that this is what they do, even if the American fans don't know anything about Japanese wrestling, you still just don't just take like that. CM Punk took the whole entire moveset of Kenta, got Kenta's moveset over in the United States, and he gets praised for it still. But that's America. America likes to take things and say it's theirs and just run with it. America never learned how to give credit to somebody, even though it's out there on like practice wise of how to give credit to somebody, but essentially at its core fundamental, America just doesn't give credit to people. And you could see that with like CM Punk doesn't give credit to like nobody but himself. But he gives credit if you kind of like push him to be like, yo, this isn't you. So, make sure that you go and give credit to somebody. But like I said, he took all of Kenta's movesets. He got it over here in the United States. And then when Kenta was trying to have his WWE run, he basically couldn't because fucking Punk was like, the one that took all his fucking moves. So if Tony Khan ever does say that Kenta, you're losing, man, that's gonna be a really bad day for Tony Khan and AEW, and the AEW faithful won't be able to try to stretch it out. Other than that, yeah. So now that Tanahashi is no longer IWGP United States champion. Um, he is now free to do what he wants to do. I don't know if he's going to be part of the New Japan Cup. We will see. But because Tony Khan was asked about any more surprises, and apparently Uncle Dave was saying that, you know, whatever negotiations Tony Khan was having didn't really go through, and he wasn't able to make it to the date of it. You know, so it's gonna take a little bit longer. And of course, Dave acting like he doesn't know what it is. Dirt Sheets are acting like they don't know what it is, and they're not even reporting on anything about it, or even asking like, why are you still trying to have big surprises when you can't even get your roster together? Yeah, same J Rod. Like, I'm starting to really see the difference in the wrestling media and like who they give a pass to and stuff like that. And it's like, yo, and this messy ass office. But like who he gives a pass to and shit like that. Not him. I mean wrestling media and shit like that. It's like really stupid. You know, they basically shit on WWE, but praise AEW, and the things that AEW does is sort of like transparent in a way that WWE does. And before you guys yell at me in the comments, let me explain what I mean by that. Not too long ago, Tony Khan was interviewed about like, you know, his roster is so huge, right? So we always talk about like, well, can he renew everyone's contract? He said that he cannot renew everyone's contract and that he's going to be looking into who is better to keep based on their character, their ability, and like a bunch of other things, right? So he was being very transparent about the way that he goes about thinking about who is he going to keep, who is he not going to keep. And don't you think that's very similar to how Vince does it, how WWE does it? The only reason why when it comes out that WWE are releasing people and they use the line of budget cuts, it's because all of that is confidentiality, right? Imagine if they came out with a line instead of saying budget cuts, right? Imagine they came out the way that Tony Khan comes out when Tony Khan lets someone's contract expire. I did see on Twitter that for a while it's been this debate of you know, having someone's contract expire versus firing them are different. Technically, it's not different if they both see that the wrestler is not going to add anything to the company. The only difference is that one is lazy, the other one isn't. In this case, Tony Khan is lazy for not keeping up with the contracts that he has. Just to be like, hey, here's a reminder, your contract is coming up. I think we should keep you. But this is Tony being lazy for letting contracts expire. No boss is gonna let a contract expire. Like, if you really think about it, that's not gonna happen unless like they totally forgot. But you know, a boss who's interested in you, who wants to put, you know, your best foot forward and like support you and stuff like that, like you know, that doesn't make him a good boss if he's just going to let your contract expire and you have to go to him to be like, hey, I want to renew, or you just walk away quietly. What kind of business is that? That's not business. Business would have been like, hey, wrestler, you could insert any wrestler here that you want when you're listening to this. But like business would be like, hey, wrestler, you've been putting on great matches, you've been helping us a lot, you've been, you know, here and there, you've been selfless. I was just wondering if you would like to continue to be with the company, or, you know, do you want to go anywhere else? That is what a good boss would do. But because he hires way too many people, he's not gonna remember who he has, who's doing what, what's happening. Especially when it comes to like AEW Dark, and I know that the extras that come along, they're just extras and they get paid by appearance and stuff like that. Like, eventually the money is gonna go. And I just think that not everyone who goes on Dark is gonna get paid eventually. the money is just gonna go. And that's not, I'm not saying that because like there was that one report of like, Cody leaving because it was about a money issue, when in reality it's probably about a booking issue and probably about a creative issue, and that's about it. But yeah, like yeah, eventually all that money is gonna go out. So again, see, AEW is always tied to my little tiny fucking rants. But yeah, the dirt sheets just don't, they pick and choose who they want to serve, and then they fire up the wrestling Twitter, and then you can't control wrestling Twitter because they take whatever the dirt sheet says and turn it as gospel. And it's like, that's not how life works. Life should not be about you being a sheep and just following what people say, and then like, when things change, it's like the dirt sheets get away with it. But yeah, uh, Okada is no longer um Okada is no longer the IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion. Sonata is. So that means that if by tomorrow, because the press conference, I don't even know what time the press conference starts over in Japan, but if we do not hear that Tanahashi is in the New Japan Cup, most likely he is flying out to the States, maybe to do a little bit of a run with New Japan Strong, and that might be the big surprise that we'll get in AEW, because again, I didn't say that, J Rod. I thought I said Tanahashi is no longer the United States champion. Okay, so let me say it again. Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, is no longer the United States, the IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion. I said Okada? What? What the fuck? Okay. Are you sure I said, you sure I didn't say Sonata? Because Okada and Sonata are like similar. But okay, cool. Thank you, J Rod, for letting me know I said the wrong person's name. That's because I don't know if this is gonna work, but I don't know. Let me see. Oh, you see that? It says Okada because I want to talk about. You can't see it. Okay, I want to talk about New Japan Golden, right? So that's the other main event. So Okada is there. Okay, so I have my notes on the other table. Um, but yeah, if we do not hear that Tanahashi is in the New Japan Cup, most likely he's coming out here doing a tour in the States, and then maybe show up in AEW, because again, Jay White does Jay White things. So if you guys saw his match with Trent over on Rampage, he does a dragon screw and then he does the air guitar, and that's just poking at Tanahashi. Jay White doesn't do things for the sake of doing things. He does it because that was a big, like, fucking tell that eventually Tanahashi is probably going to come over here. And the only reason why that's going to happen is because Tanahashi is friends with Trent and best friends. And since best friends is friends with Rocky and they're all in chaos, and Tanahashi is friends with Rocky and Tanahashi is friends with Chaos, like, you get the idea. Friends upon friends upon friends upon friends upon friends. So eventually, like, Jay is running around, being a menace. Tanahashi's going to come in and we're going to see Tanahashi on AEW programming. That's what I'm calling now. The match between Sonata and Tanahashi was a really good back and forth. Of course, it always has a slow build up, and then like towards the end, like, it gets really good. But again, Tanahashi came up short to retain the title. So now moving on to night 2 of New Japan Golden, which is basically the main event of Naito taking on Okada. The Rainmaker Okada is our IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and Naito really thinks that he stood a chance. Like I told you guys, like Naito doesn't stand a chance. Naito should have sat his ass home because the rightful winner, the G1, oh no, not the right, no, wrong winner. I mean, I fucked that whole shit up. Let me start again. You know, Naito should have sat his ass home because Tama still has that victory over Okada. And not many wrestlers get a victory over Okada. So that's very special. And I can't wait for Tama to challenge Okada for that IWGP World Heavyweight Championship title. And then we can have the series of Jay White versus Tana Tonga. Because I just like chaos. Well, you know, like actual chaos. You know, not like the group in a way. I mean, I don't mind the group, but I'm just so tired of chaos versus Bullet Club every single time. But yes, Naito versus Okada was a very interesting match. I have some news, not really news, some notes, which is basically we can all agree that Okada does a wonderful dropkick. He does a wonderful dropkick. Let's see. I do like the fact that Okada countered one of Naito's combination moves to deliver a neck breaker. Then we get a DDT on the apron. This is what Okada does to Naito, and then does a pendulum DDT to Naito to the floor to follow that up. Because right now, Okada, if he knows that you are not a big deal, and he's gonna take you lightly. Naito is a big deal. We'll give it to him. He has a lot of accolades. He done a lot of things. But in this match, Okada was focusing on the head and neck area of Naito so he can apply the money clip and even try the Rainmaker if the money clip wasn't working. So that's like Okada's new thing now, is that he works on your head and neck to get it softened, and that just applies a submission. And sometimes you can definitely be like, oh, you know, if you're hurting too bad, you could tap out. Let's see. Naito does a hip toss into a drop kick to the back of Okada. Naito was doing a lot of side elbows and like stiff shots to Okada, and like they felt like desperation. They felt like you know, Naito really wanted this. Naito wanted to prove to Okada that, like, you know, he should be champion, and by really going extra on like the strong style, that's the emotion that I felt from it. So what else is here? Naito ends up doing a submission to Okada where he's basically pushing Okada's head like forward. So he's really hurting like this whole area here when he's doing that, but Okada has like long ass limbs and he manages to go to the ropes to get a rope break. Naito does a hurricanrana off the top rope to Okada. He follows it up with Esperanza to Okada. Now, the one thing that Okada is definitely known for is wrist control. This guy has like the best wrist control in the business. The first person that comes to mind is like Chris Benoit. So like, I don't even know if he had wrist control, but he was just so good. I'm trying to think of other people that might have had like wrist control other than like Okada. But whenever Okada grabs your wrist, man, you better either be aware, try to break it, or, you know, just, you're gonna be in for a rough time. Because when he has wrist control, that's when Okada gets dangerous. And you might think, how is that possible? It's just wrist control, right? It's just controlling the wrist. In wrestling, if you are able to control the wrist, you are able to control the pace of the match. If you are able to do a drop toe hold, you are able to control the pace of the match. It's basically your advantage to try to control it. If you're doing an ankle lock, you're controlling the match because now you're hurting the ankle, and then every time they put pressure on the ankle and foot to move, it basically kind of hinders that. They're going to be either skipping, or they're going to be limping or something like that. You're hurting a body part, so that way you could get the advantage. If he's able to really do a number on, like, your ankle, and then apply the ankle lock, you're tapping out. If he's able to work on your wrist to where he's damaging it, where he's like hitting it into the mat, hitting it into the ring post, hitting it into the guardrail, or just something, smashing it, stomping it, like really working on your wrist. And then when Okada applies like the moneymaker, the moneymaker? It's not the moneymaker. The money clip. I'm sorry. When he applies the money clip, it like hurts more, and then you're gonna be able to tap out. That's why it's important as a wrestler to work on a body part, and what it means to work on a body part, and what it does to the opponent. And this is why, like, I'm here to break this down for you. Then we get, after Okada loses wrist control, which is 7 out of 10 times what happens. Naito tries to get a one up on him, but here comes Okada, and Okada does a tombstone, and then from there he picks him up. He doesn't even go for the cover. This is how like cocky Okada can be sometimes. So he hits Naito with a tombstone, then picks him up, go for a rainmaker. And this is where Naito counters that rainmaker, which is kind of interesting, into one of his own moves. Apparently he used it when he was doing the junior heavyweights. I really do not remember the name of the move, and I apologize for it. Commentary did not even say the name of the move either. But it is when Naito had Okada's, I'm guessing it's gonna be like his left arm, around his neck, and then picked up his leg and sort of like spun him. But that's what he did. And then after that, Okada's laying in the ring. Naito goes up to the top rope and does Stardust press that he doesn't really do as much. And that really lets you know like how much this opportunity meant to him. Because he says that, maybe at 40 years old, which he's like 2 years away, and with his knees, that he's probably going to retire. So he really had this match as like a desperation match for that. And, again, New Japan Pro Wrestling telling in-ring stories. Not many companies are doing that. And then Naito goes for that cover. Okada kicks out. Okada then comes in with his own Destino, where that was pretty interesting that he did that. Then Okada comes in with like a landslide move. It's called like landslide. Picks him up and does the rainmaker to Naito, and that allows Okada to pick up the victory. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Okada is still our IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And now basically the record between Naito and Okada is 6-5. Okada has 6, Naito has 5. At the end of the match, they basically fist bump. It was a really good story back and forth. It was very simple. Very, very simple. Naito still wants to try to recapture some type of glory days of being champion. When you have that lion spirit and that fighting spirit for New Japan Pro Wrestling, you really want to be, the top of everything. Moving on from that, I'll quickly go over New Japan Strong that happened last night. every single Saturday at 8 p.m. If you have njpworld.com and you have the subscription for only like $8, um, you are able to watch this every single Saturday at 8 p.m. On New Japan World. It's New Japan Strong. If you buy the Fight TV collection of New Japan Strong, you will be getting the English version. The New Japan World one is only Japanese, but if you understand context, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I've been watching this for a while. I understand context, so I get it. We open up with Kevin Knight and DKC, which are two young lions still in the dojo, getting their reps in, along with other ones in the LA dojo. They represent the LA dojo. And they're taking on Midnight Heat, which is Eddie Pearl and... Is it Eddie Gibson? Are they both Eddies? I'm gonna have to look up something. Ricky Gibson. Okay, so Ricky Gibson. It's Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson. I don't know why I put Eddie Gibson there. Like I put that in my notes. But yeah. So that was a very good match. Surprisingly, the Young Lions sort of like took a little bit control of like the beginning of the bout, and then like the veterans Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson definitely took you know took control of the match, and they ended up winning. Give me a second here. I'm fixing my notes. But yeah, that was a very interesting and good tag team match to start everything. DKC is getting better by the minute. He is a really great professional wrestler, a really technical sound. He doesn't do too much high flying. He picks and chooses when he does his high flying, but he's basically technical. I was gonna say with like a little bit of a Spanish accent for some reason. Kevin Knight is also good too. He's been good with tag teams, so the LA Dojo has some really good guys there. I am surprised you're not hearing the creeper. So the next match is Gabriel Kid versus Fred Rosser. Fred Rosser. It sounds weird, even though I know I'm probably pronouncing it right. If he ever hears this, apologies if I got the last name wrong, but it sounds weird. Also, I just want to say that I hope that Gabriel Kid is all good. Mentally wise, again, Twitter, you don't have to fucking dogpile on him for his comments that really didn't mean anything. It really didn't. He got the victim of circumstance heat, and basically got ran off of Twitter. And the one thing that I hate about the mob mentality is that the moment you start speaking when you never spoken before, and I mean about like making loud noises, making a ruckus, trying to call out every wrestler, trying to be on, podcast episodes where basically, they'll use your name to make a profit off of it. Rather than, letting the story tell the story, and there was some certain like downfalls about that. But yeah, other than that, I really just don't like that Twitter just dog piles on people just because it's what they would do, and yet then they will say, oh, we got to stop bullying, we got to stop cyberbullying, and you guys are dogpiling on someone who speaks the truth and is probably a kind guy and never hurt you, and you don't know that person personally, but you guys take offense to anything and everything. Like, I really do hope that Gabriel Kid is all good. I do know that he's surrounded by, his three pillars of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they have his back. And thanks to Clark Connors for that update saying that he's good. That was a couple days ago. But I am still a little bit worried about Gabriel Kid. Uh, you know, so I hope that Gabriel Kid is doing well mentally. This has been by far um, Gabriel Kid versus Fred Rosser, uh, the most toughest, brutal match that I've seen. This goes in the same category as Gabriel Kid surviving a New York fucking fight by facing Eddie Kingston. And Gabriel Kid survived against Fred, and it was a very powerful match. We had an exchange of forearms, an exchange of slaps. It was the epitome of strong style. That's all it was. It was a combination of just either chops, forearms. It was like a fight. Like Gabriel Kid wanted to prove something that, he had the heart of New Japan Pro Wrestling. He has the fire and the passion and the ambition, and he doesn't want any of the other wrestlers who's been there to ever like look down on him or to think that he's nothing when he's put in the work, and he's still here with us. So Gabriel Kid does a wonderful moonsault. That was the best looking moonsault I've seen, and he does it fantastic. However, the moonsault does not connect with Fred Rosser. So Fred, manages to kick Gabriel Kid in the head, and then does a lariat as well. And then for the final of this match, Fred comes in with a side slam, and pins Gabriel Kid. It was a really hard for a match. Unfortunately, Gabriel Kid did not pick up the win. Fred Rosser is our winner for the New Japan Strong match. And then earlier in this podcast episode, I talked a little bit about Jay White versus Jay Lethal. It's the Battle of the Jays. Of course, this was for the tour that Jay is doing, which is an open challenge, the US of J. And so Jay White won this match. This was the main event of that Strong episode. Strong episodes are only like an hour. So they break it up like that. Hikuleo was out there, with Jay. Jay, like I said, Jay does Jay White things. This was a really good back and forth match. I really do want to see a rematch eventually down the line. Jay picked up the win by doing a Dragon Sleeper to Jay Lethal, followed up by a Blade Runner, and covers him 1, 2, 3. And that's the end of New Japan Strong. So this is just gonna be like, oh wait, No Surrender. We should talk about No Surrender very quickly. The whole entire pay-per-view of No Surrender from start to finish was very, very, very great. Impact has these amazing pay-per-views that they put on, and sometimes they might fly under the radar because fans out there are just like, ooh, what's Tony Khan doing? Ooh, what's AEW doing? Impact deserves like love too. So I was tweeting throughout the night about the card. So the beginning, the 30-minute free, we had a women's match, which was, okay. Totally forgot what it was. Let me see. Let's see what else. Then we had Jonah taking on Tarus, and I was tweeting that, Finn Juice will probably need to invest in Tarus, just because if they're gonna keep going with this feud with Jonah and Bad Dude Tito, like they need some extra backup. And I didn't know that Tarus was that athletic and that fast. And he proved so much more when he faced against Jonah. Unfortunately, Jonah won that match. I said unfortunately, he's gonna come after me. I should say, unfortunately, Tarus lost the match, having Jonah, win it. Then we had, Matt Cardona versus Jordan Grace. That was a really odd, fun match to watch. I just found it really funny that even though the chair was like involved in shit like that, she decided to kick him in the balls. I'm not sure if she remembered that he had balls, just because of, you have to remember that it's gonna be a DQ if you hit him in the balls. So it ended up being a DQ. Matt Cardona keeps the digital championship title. We had a mixed no, we didn't have a mixed tag match. I think on a pre-show, if I'm remembering this right, it was Tenille Dashwood taking on Havoc. That was the match that could have been a little bit better. Let's see. Jay White versus Eric Young. That was a fantastic match. That was one where it's like, who do you pick? Who do you choose? They chose, Jay White to go over. Now I pose the question, and I don't know if Switchblade GT is still in the chat, but if you see this on replay, I got this question for you. Do you think, right? Because in reality, Jay White won against Eric Young during their one-on-one match. Do you think if Jay White would have lost to Eric Young, that the swerve would have been a little bit more better with a little bit more story? Because if we look back to when Jay White fought Kota Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom, this should have been like 2020 or 2021. Like, I'm always fuzzy on the fucking dates. But the recent ones where Jay White fought against Kota Ibushi, Jay White did not get the double championships titles, so we didn't see him for a while. And then when Jay White came back, he went after Ishii because he says that he has to put all of the pieces together. He has to, redefine what this means. And by going after Ishii, he fixes the problem. And so I'm wondering if that could have been useful in this whole Bullet Club drama if he would have lost against Eric Young, and then like in his promo say the same thing that he said about Ishii, saying that Eric Young stopped him from greatness. And that, maybe he could say in his promo that Tama had like always stopped them from greatness, and that there wasn't enough evolving because he still had to answer to like Tama and like, still be part of Tama in tow, even though like Jay White is doing everything. It's also thinking about it like Jay White just showing up on AEW out of nowhere and not really confronting anybody about it. Like, you see what I'm trying to get at? That like Jay White does things for himself. And I was just wondering if like maybe if he lost to Eric Young, if this will make the story that much better, that much sweeter, so then he can have something, even though he probably already does, but then he can have something to be like, he doesn't like losing. He doesn't take losing very well. And definitely, thinking about how like to be adjacent to like Tama and all that. Like, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. If you guys want to comment on it, you guys can leave a comment if you're watching this on the replay, or you can, message me at Maria_Shadows. But in reality, Jay White won against Eric Young. After that, we had, we got that Fatal 4-Way where it's Chris Bay, Speedball, Jake Something, and Ace Austin. That was a fantastic Fatal 4-Way for the number one contender for the X Division Championship title. Chris Bay didn't win. The funny part is that I complimented Chris Bay on his gear, and then all of a sudden he fucking swerves us, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck? He fucking finessed me. That is Chris Bay for you. But no, I'm not upset at Bay. I'm not upset at anybody in this whole Bullet Club drama. I'm just really, really excited to talk about it. But let's see, Jake something won, and this means that they're gonna put a lot of potential into Jake something, when the time comes. What else we had? We had the whole swerve of God versus the Good Brothers. I did say that I'd be lying if I wasn't nervous when I saw it, but I've been talking way too much about it. After that, the women had to follow that, and I don't know how. I was still in shock, so I couldn't really do Mickey James versus Tasha Steele's justice. But from me glancing up and down, from like tweeting about, the Bullet Club drama, I really think that it was a good match. Mickey James retains her Knockouts Women's Champion. Deanna had a wonderful match against Miranda for the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. That was fantastic. I'm still waiting for Britt Baker to come through. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Other than that, we had our main event. Oh, we had Moose versus Morrissey. All I kept hearing for commentary was, there goes the BQE. Like, Morrissey's gonna turn into like the one move a Doom wrestler. Like, that's all I kept hearing was, here comes the BQE, and that's it. There's like nothing else. Moose retains the championship title, and he is still Impact champion. And then we get to the main event, because I don't think there was anything else after that. The main event was Honor No More versus Team Impact. That was pretty cool. Eddie Edwards gets taken out way early. But Eddie Edwards shows his true colors because he is a Ring of Honor like original. I remember watching his matches with David Richards as the American Wolves all the way back in the day. And so Eddie Edwards chooses the side of being on Honor No More and allows Honor No More to win and stay within Impact Wrestling. And that basically closes out the show. But Bullet Club has the bigger story of No Surrender. So, with that being said, I have streamed for a pretty good amount of time. This is going to be the end of the show. I really do want to thank everybody that has tuned in to watch me talk about wrestling for like 2 hours, close to 3 hours. And I really appreciate you guys being here, because this is a really big, huge topic where it's Bullet Club drama, and I'm here to break it down for you guys as best as I can. Even though I am close to the source, I will not ever, tell you scoops unless unless I am told that I am. So this has been fun for like a little bit. So, if you enjoyed this stream, again, I am Marie Shadows of the Square Circle Podcast. I have been talking about the Bullet Club drama for a while, since yesterday till today, and I added some more theories that you guys might want to be interested in hearing. So if this is on replay or you're just catching the ending, make sure to watch the full thing on replay. After that, I talked about New Japan Golden Night 1, Night 2, talked a little bit about New Japan Strong that happened, and then mentioned that we will be getting an update on the New Japan Cup, because New Japan Cup starts March 2nd. And you know that NJPW Access TV deal, you guys are going to be watching New Japan Cup every single night. Not every single night, probably that once a night thing that they've been doing with showing you the greatest hits. So yeah, that's going to be happening. So it's great to be a wrestling fan. It's great to be a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan, a Bullet Club fan, and, just supporting your greats, your favorites. And if you guys want to help me out, that would be great. I have a coffee page where you can send me a $3 donation, which will be a hug, because hugs are way more encouraging. So head over to www.ko-fi.com/Marie_Shadows. Marie_Shadows. If you guys want, I have a shop open and I have wrestling bingo cards. Go fill it out. Go have your bingo card of 2022. Also, please make sure you follow the Twitch channel where, I'm trying to reach affiliates. So a simple follow will work. Some more chatting in the chat will work too, because I love talking to you guys. Again, without you guys, this won't happen at all. I'm getting more confident as I go on, and I have the greatest support system, which is you. You make everything happen. So, twitch.tv/Marie_Shadows is where you can hit that follow button and, see what I do. Head over to Twitter where you can talk to me about wrestling 24/7, which is at Marie_Shadows over on Twitter. I do have a newsletter. Go to my profile and click the subscribe button and it will subscribe for you. This is basically the stream ending, and I really hope you guys enjoy this. If you do, make sure to tell a friend. If you want to hear the audio version of this, head over to anchor.fm/Square Circle Podcast. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube side, youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. I do have merch. I do have a lot more things. But your support in any of those ventures mean the world to me. The next time around for a live stream, I'm not exactly sure what topics it is going to be. So please pay attention to my Twitter at Marie_Shadows. I do know that I will be dedicating maybe a couple of days to MOW because I do cover MOW. I haven't been covering it in a while because this is taking front and center, but I will be covering MOW in a little bit. When I say a little bit, in a couple of days. Because I want to give that my full attention and break down the stories. The same way that I broke down the stories here for all this New Japan stuff. Thank you everyone for stopping by, and thank you for Switchblade GT for chatting with me, J-Rob for chatting with me, Israel over on the YouTube side chatting with me, and everyone else. Don't be shy. I like talking with everybody. I like answering your questions. I like getting to know everything that you think about for pro wrestling. I have very strong opinionated opinions, and you can too. So again, I highly thank you guys for this, and I will see you guys on the next one. So that is everything from me. You have been listening to an episode of the Square Circle Podcast. I am your host, Marie Shadows, and I'll see you guys on the next one.